Hi, my name is Ken Hart. I work for the University of Idaho Cooperative Extension. And I'm a county-based faculty. My assignment is in farm management and crops, a little bit of 4-H. I began in 2006. Part of my interest in ESP is the support that they have for global work. And in 2006, I got the word that all you have to do is apply. So that's what I did. I went on the web, I applied to CNFA is the name of the USAID funded project. And CNFA is a Citizens Network for Foreign Affairs. And I applied and they called me up and I went to Belarus. I'd never traveled outside the United States other than Canada, and I don't know any foreign languages, but it's really about relating to people, and that's what I did in Belarus. And since then I've worked in Belarus, Moldova, 3 times in Moldova. And my experience is in agribusiness, so that's why I work in agribusiness. Twice I've worked with specific companies, and I use a tool from the United States called FinPac to do that. And it's been a real rewarding and challenging experience to do that with specific companies. The last 2 experiences I've had, I worked with small farms and on large, about 200 small farms across Moldova. Just help them to be able to develop goals and make better decisions. And then just a year ago, I worked in Transnistria, which is a breakaway republic in Moldova. Kind of the last holdout of the USSR. They speak Russian. They're very loyal to the communist ideals that held the USSR together for years. But they have a strong entrepreneurial spirit, and that's hard to take out of people. And so I worked with them in strategic planning, a consulting company in Transnistria. So I had a wide variety of experiences. These experiences have had a profound effect on the way I do my work. For one thing, they've sharpened my skills. You know the song, "Standing Outside the Fire"? Well, you just can't do that in these kinds of situations. These assignments that I've been on are only 18 days long. So you have 18 days to make an effect, to make a difference in the lives of the people you're working with. And your resources are much more limited than they are here. Oftentimes you don't have, hardly ever have internet connections. You don't have air conditioning. The last one had no hot water. There's some things you're working against that you expect in your normal life here that are comfortable. And you're taking your curriculum or your ideas or your learning, your understanding of life, and trying to put it in a whole nother culture. So the challenge to do that is it's an intense experience, because it just sharpens everything that you know, and you bring it to bear on this problem that you're faced with. So just personally and professionally, a very satisfying experience. And when I came back, I've shared with the growers in our area my experience there, and it brought some of those growers in to say, I think I could do a better job at my bookkeeping if you can get them to do a better job. Hey, we can start with some of my stuff, and we've made some impacts there. A couple of years ago, it's been 3 years now, our 4-H office called up and said, we have a student from Moldova, high school student from Moldova, who wants to come to the United States. I live in a town of 600 people. Our school district has 150 kids in it, and our high school has 45 kids in it. So here comes a kid from Moldova, and he lived with us for a year. He graduated from Nespers High School. He would have been our valedictorian had he been there long enough. He went back to Moldova. Moldova is one of the poorest countries in Europe, at least on the face of things, as the statistics show, one of the poorest financial countries in Europe. He came back to the United States through a very miraculous situation. Now he's a junior at University of Idaho in agribusiness. He affected our family. I visited his family in Moldova in person, got to know them. It was a really moving experience because the mother hadn't seen her son for 2 years since he came back to college. I came to the driveway. I said, hello, Zena, and she just hugged me and just bawled, just sobbed and sobbed. And so, of course, I was sobbing and sobbing. But, you know, it's part of the connection for people that happens. Then last year we had another Moldovan student. He graduated from Nespers High School with a perfect score of 4.0. Probably would have been our valedictorian had he been there long enough. And he's a student at Whitworth University in Washington State now. So both, it works both ways. It strengthened our family, strengthened us, and strengthened our community through the exposure to this foreign students who look, I mean, they look like us, they talk they have pretty good English, but they come from a different culture, they're different values, and they've shared that with us, and we've all benefited from that. As far as my university, our university is very supportive of these kinds of actions. We have a director of international programs in our College of Agriculture, and we have a policy that allows us to do these without taking annual leave, as long as we're 21 days every 2 years, as long as we're current with our job requirements. It doesn't affect our job performance. And in fact, it does increase our job performance. I think I can demonstrate that. So it's a benefit. I think it's been a benefit all the way around.